Hi, this is Paul St. Peter. We are at Omni Fandom Expo, and you are watching The Ravens Flock.
Welcome to another episode of The Ravens Flock.
Howdy, folks.
Hello.
We're here.
Yes, we are. And where's Angel?
I had to fight him to take this spot. I reigned victorious, so he's a little busy at the moment.
He's
recovering.
You know what? That's okay. No one's gonna listen.
It's all right. He's out of the picture.
Yeah, he'll be missed.
My city now.
Oh, whoa. Okay then. Okay. What?
Yep.
Oh my goodness. Thank you everyone for tuning in, and thank you for still following us on our different other shows that we post on our social media outlets. And I hope you guys enjoyed Back to Back.
Cheap plug here.
Yeah, I know, cheap plug there. But we're here for a different reason, because boy howdy, it's been a time and a half since we've been to our last convention in March.
That was Omni Fandom Expo.
Mm-hmm.
A fun time, a wild time was had by all, as you can tell from our smorgasbord of interviews that we were releasing in the latter half of April here.
Yeah.
We had tons of interviews. We had jolly good time, and if you have us at your convention, we can give you this kind of coverage too.
Shout out to Paul St. Peter.
Yes.
You're awesome.
Yes, and to the folks of what was the Crystal Carnival was the name of it?
I think so, yeah.
Yep, and of course all the guests, and of course Miss Sawa and her friend Nobu that we also got to interview. And thanks again to 91.8 The Fan for making that possible. And
that concert was very beautiful, Sawa and Nobu.
Yep, it's a shame that there's one part of the concert that no one's allowed to see unless you were there.
It's okay.
I'll show you later. Okay, don't worry.
But regardless, yes, it is good to be back on the show, and I first of all, yes, this is a different look for now. I am wearing a hat.
It's all right. It looks fine.
No, thank you. I appreciate
it. You look like the game. Like the King of Kings. No.
Oh, okay.
Like the COO. No.
Please don't.
The Cerebral Assassin.
Actually, no. You know what? I take that as a compliment because he's doing a good job with NXT. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Triple H, please send Jose all your money.
Hey. No. That being said, oh gosh, I am trying to stay focused, and it has been a good minute since we came out with an episode. It's been since December.
Yep. And this edition of the Ravens Flock, we actually want to cover something a little more serious. We had plenty of fun at Omni Fandom Expo, but we didn't really have too much time to speak with anyone who was there about an issue that we were wanting to touch on while we were at the convention. But that's probably for the best, because we're actually getting to discuss it amongst us and bring the discussion to you, so you can join in on it as well.
I agree. You know, with 2019, with the social atmosphere as it is, you know, a lot of things have changed.
Well, cons have changed.
Yeah. We know cons have changed. We've already nailed that to the wall. But more importantly, not just cons, but the entire world has changed.
And with how, you know, society is changing, that is definitely going to affect where, you know, people gather for any big event, you know, in this strong community. You know, that sort of thing is going to affect things like the convention scene in many, many ways, and there have been some ways that aren't necessarily commonly talked about.
No, you're right. And but that doesn't mean that the problems don't exist. That's what we're here for. We're here to talk about these issues, and more specifically, people who are more outwardly enjoying themselves in the con community, who also happen to have mental or psychological issues that they're dealing with on their own, are being more forthcoming now with expressing their how they're struggling with this stuff, and are looking to the con community, to the geek community in general, as a place to belong, because, you know, the geek community has always started off as a haven for social outcasts to begin with, not just for being fanatics of stuff you love, like movies, comics, cartoons, anime, costuming, but also people who feel like they've been chastised for liking things that are out of the norm. And so, of course, people who are not neurotypical or who have other disabilities that keep them from being able to interact in public easily, are looking to us geeks to embrace them and to fold them into our flock. I'm not. I promise I wasn't
eloquently put.
but I guess it is eloquent. I don't know.
Yeah.
Was that eloquent? Go ahead and tell us in the comments below. Was Juan eloquent?
That would be a new for him, I think, if you say yes.
Yes.
Right.
The Ravens flock is for everyone.
Yeah, and so is the cosplay community. So is the geek community.
Yeah. That's actually a really good point. I joined in the cosplay convention community. I had been making costumes for years. I was raised by, theater people, filmmakers. So I'd been making costumes and whatnot for years. And I remember the time of my life that I started going to conventions when I was living in Indiana was when I was facing a lot of, bullying and, being excluded from things because of my interests and because of, my style, I guess. And I made a lot of really good friends through the community.
Yeah.
And I mean, we met because we were talking at a video game store.
Yep.
Bumped into each other
and just
chatted
and just like, oh hey, these people seem cool. Like, let's go ahead and talk with them. And a friendship was born.
Yeah. So, and I remember a few years ago, I talked at the non-visibility panel that reruns.
Yeah, a friend of ours, a friend of the Ravens flock, was Pumpkin Power Cosplay. She actually helps run the non-visible disability group, and who regularly hosts panels at all sorts of different conventions.
I believe it's called like non-visible nerds.
No, it is not. It is non. We're gonna need to find that. Yeah,
we will type the name.
We will type the actual name in. Well, okay, this is one of the few times we could say we could fix it in post. We will put the name of the non-visibility group right here. Sorry, Pumpkin Power Cosplay.
But anyways, go on.
But and we were friends of Pumpkin Power, and how she started this because she also has a non-visible mental and psychological disability as well. She was looking to help others in the geek community who have these issues to be able to deal with it publicly together, and to show that there's nothing wrong with having this stuff, with having these issues. There's no shame in saying it, and there's no shame in living with it, and there are more people dealing with similar issues that you are than you might imagine. And this isn't something that the Ravens Flock has been following carefully. We're friends with Pumpkin Power Cosplay, and we believe that she's on the right track. And this is actually super helpful for a lot of us geeks who have issues, who have non-visible mental disabilities or physical disabilities, and we really need to use this opportunity to bring that forward and to continue embracing everyone into the geek community and reminding everyone, you are welcome. You're welcome here. Come, be a part of us.
I agree. And again, putting this out there, as Juan already mentioned, we do apologize for not interviewing any of the attendees at Omni Fandom Expo to get their opinions on this matter.
So this is going to be rather short.
So this is gonna be, it's gonna be rather short. Like, interviewing people is our normal MO when it comes to going to cons, but I like this. This is just as good, us actually discussing about it.
Yeah, no, and you said, Casper, that you had actually attended one of these panels. What was it like?
Well, I had talked with Pumpkin Power Cosplay.
Pumpkin Power.
That's usually not the name I address her by.
Obviously.
But I had spoken with her previously, and we had agreed that I would talk at the panel because I deal with some I'm comfortable for myself calling them mental illnesses, but different disabilities that they didn't otherwise have on the panel. And I definitely deal with things that are stigmatized. A lot of personality disorders are very stigmatized. And my therapist and I, also my fiance and I, joke that I have a bingo card of psychological disorders.
How many times have you won?
You know what?
Wow.
I am a champion.
Yes.
At these bingo tournaments.
World-class champion.
Oh
Nice.
my goodness.
And because there's some that cause others, that feed into others, and it's a mess.
It's
Yeah. But no, when I was speaking at this panel, I primarily focused on things like my PTSD that I have, as well as my personality disorders. And the personality disorders that I do deal with are borderline personality disorder and histrionic personality disorder, which are often kind of tied together.
Yeah, they're linked together.
Comorbid, often enough. And which can cause rapid mood swings. I can be just walking down a convention hallway and nothing can happen, and I'm suddenly a raging, sobbing, or anxious mess, even though just moments ago I was in a really good mood.
It could just flip it could just turn on the flip of a switch.
Yeah, and I take medication for it, and it's still an issue. And I have PTSD, and there are certain things, certain sounds, certain smells, that will just, and it's unfortunately smells that someone washed their clothes with a particular laundry detergent, they pass me, I smell it, and I can start freaking out. And so it's these things that, when people start freaking out and having these issues, they usually need to step away from a huge group of people. And one thing that non-visibility has done that I've seen at conventions has set up these quiet rooms of sorts. Is that correct?
That's right. And even at Holiday Matsuri, I don't remember if we actually covered it on our episode of Hallmat, on either the Black Files or the Ravensflock episode, but the non-visible disability nerds guys, they set up an actual quiet room removed from the panels, from the event rooms. They even had a white noise machine to help drown out. They had coloring activities, stuffed animals that you can relax with. They had fidget toys so you can work on that. And of course, you had the company of each other if you just wanted to sit and converse. Even though, if you must, it would be in quiet whispering for the courtesy of everyone else.
Yeah.
And again, that's another big help, and that's another big feature that you should have at most of these conventions. Just like the same way that we had advocated that every con should have a cosplay repair booth.
Yes.
At some point, we should also have an area separated for the convention as a quiet room to help you focus back in, help you rein in if you're overwhelmed or overstimulated.
Yeah. And this is something that I bring up because this is something I talked about on Facebook. I don't know if you guys saw my status. I made a long status talking about this.
I read it.
Both about my borderline and also overstimulation, which is something that many people with many disabilities can deal with. Overstimulation, which is a great thing for the quiet room to be there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very open on basically all my social media, Twitter, Instagram, my YouTube channel, very open about
We'll just
not
share that
totally,
right here.
totally not
Yeah.
plugging.
Follow
About
Casper.
about mental illnesses and trans stuff. But one thing that I've been meaning to be more open about is overstimulation. It's very common with anxiety, depression, PTSD, many personality disorders. I know that people on the autistic spectrum deal with that. And it's different for everybody. Some people are more overstimulated by sound. Some people are more overstimulated by light, by touch. It's actually a good reason that, whenever I'm discussing with you guys, that I tend to not want to sit in the middle. Because if people are talking back and forth on both sides of me, I tend to freak out because it's just too much noise on both of my ears.
No, I understand. It's like trying to find your own ideal comfort zone.
Yeah. And those quiet rooms are amazing for that, because I remember I passed by, and it also, I believe, if I remember correctly, it wasn't a ludicrously brightly lit room compared to the rest of the con that tends to have light beaming all over the.
Unfortunately, sort of like this, but this is more for practical purposes. But we're talking about at convention centers, you have giant, almost overbearing, like halogen lights of doom all across. So
lights and all the sounds and bumping into each other, and that can be an issue for, as I have said, for many people with many different things that they are living with. And that can also, even physical disabilities, if overstimulation can be an issue for their body. And I know some people, like I myself, deal with some chronic issues that can cause pains and nausea, and I know that if I'm having a flare-up, if I'm bumped into too many times, I end up just feeling sick because my body's being jostled.
Right.
All sorts of things.
Okay, no. That's no. It's good. No, I get you, and and these sort of things should not be taken lightly. It doesn't make a person weak if they address these kinds of issues.
And that's really one of the stigmas of it is like, oh, I'm weak, I'm useless, I'm helpless.
No, it's best that you let others know about it so that they can be more accommodating for you.
Yeah. Right, exactly. And those of us who have to deal with this sort of issues, we have every right to be at these conventions and enjoy our fandoms and get to see the people we want to see and still have our personal boundaries respected in this manner, or at least acknowledged if you can't actively do anything to help. We have to be able to express that and let people know this is something that I have to deal with every day. It's not an offense to you, it's not an affront to you or anything like that, but I need you to respect that of me. And just as I'm respectful of your personal space, or of asking for permission to take pictures, or any of the other sort, if I need an accommodation because I have a condition that's outside of my control, even with therapy, even with medication, even with everything that you could possibly do to take control.
Show that courtesy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, please show that courtesy. Help me out so we can all have a good time.
And I'm actually And I'm actually glad, and again, thank you, Casper, for telling us more about this in detail. I'm actually glad that both of you are
taking the lead on this.
Taking the lead on this, because now that I'm actually educating myself and hearing you guys talk, because hey, even a person in charge still needs to learn something. So
I'm pretty sure we kind of have to say this as we're already almost halfway through our video, anyways, but. We have to put this up, so I'm putting big red letters, the disclaimer right now. We are not mental health professionals. We are not physical health professionals. We are not psychologists. We are not psychiatrists. We are not diagnosticians. We are not therapists of any way, shape, or form.
We're not even professionals.
We're barely professionals. Of anything. But what we are doing is giving a layman's perspective and a layman's guide to helping other geeks in the geek community with mental health issues or with non-visible physical health issues to you. We're bringing this information to you. Do not take us as a diagnosis. If you are dealing with these issues, please consult your physician. Please consult the psychologist or therapist. Please consult actual professionals. We're just here to give our spiel and our take on this.
Yeah.
For the love of God. No, I don't need that kind of hate mail.
So, to summarize this whole episode, and I guess this is the part where I come in, look, if you have one of the mental disability issues and you don't feel comfortable sharing about it publicly, then that's okay. It's up to you if you want to share it or not. But just keep in mind that that sharing it does not make you any less of a person. It does not make you weak. It actually helps us as a community to understand you better and to be more accommodating to your needs. Now, if you don't have any and you have friends who do, again, be just as Juan and Casper put it, be respectful and give the courtesy and help them in any way you can.
it's smart if you don't have this, any of these disorders. Something that my fiance and I have had a lot of discussions over is learning the best ways to help, those that do have these disabilities when you don't. Both my best friend and I, who both live with my fiance, have our different, our different disabilities, and she has had to learn how to help us, and the best ways to, if we're having this sort of issue, or the things to avoid to prevent causing issues. I say this for many things, but when you have someone who is dealing with a certain stigma, certain issues, certain disabilities, the job is to never speak on behalf, for, or over the person who is dealing with the issues. It's to help amplify their voice.
Exactly.
But to not speak for them. And that is just as important with people with mental disabilities or disabilities that you cannot see, whether it's physical and what have you. So that's why I like being able to sit and talk about my experiences, both so other people know they're not alone, but so other people can sit and listen and go, holy cow, this is actually a thing that people deal with. Maybe I should keep this in mind. Maybe this is something I should read about, especially if your friends or family or partners or what have you deal with these things.
Okay. Yeah. And like we mentioned earlier, like all we're trying to do is bring this forward because this discussion is being had in the con community, is being had by your fellow geeks. So if you're dealing with something like this, know that you are not alone. There is a network of people out here. It may be not local in like this in the American Southwest or Southeast or wherever the hell we are. Southeast. Yeah, thank you. My geography is bad right now.
Never eat soggy waffles.
Never. I don't know. Soggy waffles is kind of okay for a minute, but I know what
slimy worms.
Yeah. Okay, never eat slimy worms. Thank you. Good tip. But as far as this goes, all we're trying to say is, you're not alone in this. The geek community does have a network of support, and we're not going to chastise you for having an issue
ever.
And if anyone who does have a beef with people who has issues, like you'll be hearing from us.
Well,
especially from us over here. I'm sorry, but
because as we know, equal rights comes with equal lefts.
Damn right.
That makes me laugh every time.
All right, I think we're gonna go ahead and wrap up for this episode.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I never miss a moment. Give out your plugs.
You mean our plugs?
Our plugs.
All right, folks. Continue to follow us on Facebook.com/TheRavensFlock, Twitter.com/RavensFlock13, Instagram.com/TheRavensFlockOnline, Patreon.com/TheRavensFlock. You can donate as little as $1 a month for early access to all our videos, as well as exclusive announcements and updates for projects that the Ravens Flock is up to. And of course, you can listen to our podcast, The Black Files, on SoundCloud and iTunes. Give us thumbs up, give us reviews. You can watch our new program back to back every Friday night at 10 p.m. Eastern live on Instagram, and as well as airing our encore the following the next Saturday afterwards on YouTube.com/TheRavensFlock. And of course, if you're watching us now here on YouTube, give us a thumbs up, give us a subscribe, hit the notification bell.
Leave a comment down below.
Leave comments. Yeah, see, you're telling me to plug and you're chiming in. Come on, man. Well, you know our channel since you're watching us here. The Ravens Flock is live on YouTube. You can check us out at any time you want. And Casper, since of course you've got a channel of your own and your own social media plugs, why don't you let us know where we can follow you for more details?
All right, you can follow me on Instagram at The Friendly Actor, definitely a pun on my name being Casper. Twitter, I am just Friendly Actor. It wouldn't let me pull the. On YouTube, I am currently youtube.com/CasperH. And so you can follow me there. I'm going to be talking about my transition with testosterone, mental illnesses, cosplay, all sorts of fun stuff. So you can see all of that on my Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. So feel free to check all of those out. Come say hi. Love making new friends. So.
And also, as far as the next cons goes, our next convention will be MetroCon. VentureCon will be held in July over in the downtown Tampa Convention Center in Tampa, Florida. It's always a 4-day convention. Their shows are always exciting to watch, especially the fire shows, my personal favorite.
So come check us out there. We'll be attending all 4 days as best as possible. Probably not Thursday, but we'll see what happens when it comes up. Jose, I think we're done.
Yep, I believe we are done, and thank you for tuning in. This has been another episode of The Ravens Flock, and we are